Hey guys, hope you had a great Christmas break. I know I did. It's time to get back in the swing of things. We're starting Unit 5, which is going to be adding and subtracting fractions. It's another short unit, but we're going to go ahead and get started with it. It's the end of quarter 2, just about, so you want to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to get your grades up and making sure you ask questions when things are not clear. But let's go ahead and get started with this. This is a video that's going to cover both lessons 6.2 and 6.3. So there's only one video for these two lessons because both of them deal with adding and subtracting fractions. 6.2 deals with adding when you have a common denominator, and 6.3 deals with adding when you don't have a common denominator, adding and subtracting, I should say. So we're just going to combine it into one video because it's the same rules for both of them. So here we go. One thing I want you to make sure you know is this little rhyme. Adding fractions, don't be lame, just add the tops when the bottoms are the same. And it goes the same, I just have add in here, but subtract is the same thing. But I want you to say that with me again. Adding fractions, don't be lame, just add the tops when the bottoms are the same. So essentially we're talking about once we have a common denominator when the bottoms are the same, then all we need to do is worry about the tops. We just add or subtract the top numbers depending on what they are. So this is something I want you to make sure you write down in your notes. Write this little saying down, and I want you to say it to yourself a couple times so that you know it. When I ask you in class tomorrow what was that little phrase, I want you to be able to say, adding fractions, don't be lame, just add the tops when the bottoms are the same. Perfect. All right, so when we know that, adding fractions, don't be lame, just add the tops when the bottoms are the same. So here, that's the first thing we got to look for is that bottom number. These happen to be the same bottom number, and so all I need to do, I'm adding, is add the tops. 3 plus 1 happens to be 4. The bottom number stays the same. We don't add the bottom number. We only add or subtract the top number. The bottom number stays the same. So 3/5 plus 1/5 equals 4/5. Same thing over here. We have subtraction. This bottom number is the same number. I have 8s for both of them, so I'm not going to have to find common denominators. They already have one. So I'm just going to look at the top. 5 minus 3. What do I get when I take 5 minus 3? I get 2/8. Now, do I want to leave it as 2/8? I hope you recognize that this is not simplified. We need to simplify it. We need to put it in its lowest terms. So 2 and 8, I can divide a 2 out of both of those. So both top and bottom, I'm going to divide by 2. And when I do that, my lowest term, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 1/4 would actually be the perfect answer for 5/8 minus 3/8. Good job. All right, so here's our steps broken down that you might want to write into your notes. So when we're adding and subtracting fractions with different denominators, we need to first of all find our common denominator, preferably the least common denominator, but any common denominator will work. I just say preferably because this keeps our fractions as small as possible instead of getting some of those crazy numbers to work with. But we just need to figure out what number can we change both the bottom numbers to. So then I want to convert those fractions to a common denominator, and then I just add or subtract the top numbers. Remember, adding or subtracting fractions, don't be lame, just add the tops when the bottoms are the same. And so then you put them over the common denominator and simplify. So here we go, let's try it. 8 and 6, this is not a common denominator, so I need to think of a number that both 8 and 6 can be multiplied into. So if you think about it, a common denominator for both of them would be 24. So I'm going to go ahead and change 7/8 into something over 24. Remember when we did this, I thought, okay, how do I get from 8 to 24? I multiplied it times 3. Whatever I do to the top, the bottom number, I need to do the same thing to the top number. So I need to take 7 times 3 to get 21. So 7/8 becomes 21/24. And now I need to change 5/6 to equal something over 24. So I've got 5/6 is equal to blank over 24. How did I get from 6 to 24? I took 6 times 4. So if I took the bottom times 4, I have to take the top times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. So now I've got 21 24ths plus 20 24ths. Now I have a common denominator, so I just need to add the tops. So what do I get when I have 21 plus 20? 41. And my denominator stays the same. So here we go. I've got 41 24ths. Well, this one is one we haven't really dealt with too much, but that's an improper fraction. And remember, we don't want to leave things as improper fractions. So 24 can go into 41 one time. I'm going to see what 41 minus 24 is. That's my one time I'm taking it out. 11 minus 4 is 7. That becomes a 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. So I have 17. 1 and 17 24ths. So 17 was my remainder, so it becomes my new numerator. So these are actually equal fractions, 41 24ths and 1 and 17 24ths. But this would be in its most simplified form. Let's try it again. 6 and 4. What's a number that I can get both of these equal to? I'm going to let you think about that for a second. I hope you said 12. Granted, you could use 24, and that's fine, or other numbers, 72, some other bigger ones. But 12 is the first one that we can use both of them. So I want to go ahead and change 5/6 into something over 12, and I want to change 3/4 into something over 12. So right now you should be asking yourself, what do I have to do to 6 to get it equal to 12? 6 times what? It should have been times 2. 5 times 2 then is 10. How about down here? 4 times what gets me to 12? Times 3. So I got to take 3 times 3 to get 9. Now I'm doing pretty good. I've got 10 twelfths minus 9 twelfths. Once I've converted these, I got the same bottom number, so I know my answer is going to be something over 12. 10 minus 9 is 1. Make sure you're paying attention to what the sign is. Don't just get in the habit of adding everything, because we've got some subtraction going on as well. So I got one last one I want you to go ahead and try and do on your own. Don't forget, when looking for a common denominator, check what you already have. Look at the bigger number and see if there's any way for that smaller number to fit into that. For example, we've got 8 and 4. It should jump out at you that both of these could be something over 8. So then you only have one number to switch. So I'm going to let you go ahead and do that, or I'll check your answers and your notes tomorrow in class. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow.